So if you spent those tens of billions on renewables instead of nuclear power, you could still keep the lights on.
Totally. And this is a 21st century system that we should have in this country and in this province.
It is worldwide known that the costs of renewables are coming down. So I don't for me, you know, it's what are the current costs and what are the future costs of these different technology types going to be? Renewables are always coming down. They've been coming down for a decade. And we don't have fuel costs. We don't have mining costs. We don't have all of these ongoing costs associated with those technology types.
It's interesting that renewables get penalized for honesty. We don't talk about the fact that the reason we're paying more for our electricity is about nuclear power and about the hidden subsidies that we've always buried for the last 50 years. They're costing Ontario ratepayers the money. The subsidy program that's in place for renewables in Ontario is about kickstarting an industry. You can't take the numbers that we have now and extrapolate them into the 27 or 30,000 megawatts we're going to need in the future. They're not going to be paying that. We're not going to be paying that when it happens. This is just to get started.
The prices are already coming down.
They're already coming down. In fact, nuclear and coal are going up, and natural gas is going up, and renewables are coming down.
Bringing in wind and solar, which are, yes, they are capital-intensive technologies, but there's no fuel costs going forward. So you're not going to see that variability that we have seen in the past, and you know what you're getting. It's completely transparent. The price is transparent from the time that contract is signed until 20 years later.
Could renewable energy handle a population in the United States of 400 million people?
No. The number that I have and estimated would be we could handle half that, 200 million people, but we would have to cut consumption of energy and other resources by 50% with using renewable energy, and that's, our estimates are relatively optimistic.
I would say that there's in fact a large potential for renewable energy in the United States and in every country of the world. If early 1990s survey from the U.S. Department of Energy looked at wind resources around the country, found that there's wind available in every state in the United States, and just the equivalent capacity of 3 states could in fact supply the electricity needs of the entire country.
Wind isn't going to replace coal directly. Nobody pretends it's going to. But a balanced grid with wind spread throughout the province can significantly contribute to our energy supply, never mind other sources of renewables.
Define significantly.
Well, it's 70%.
We got wind right now, 3% of Ontario's power, coal, 18%. Obviously you're not going to replace that coal. Wind is unreliable. You get about 30% of the nominal capacity in generating. Great when the wind blows, useless when it doesn't. It's going to be backed up by gas or coal.
I am really excited. I think solar is going to be the game changer in electricity, but it's going to be the game changer because companies like NanoSolar and others are working on 5 cent a kilowatt hour electricity, not because they're working on 80 cent a kilowatt hour rooftop collectors or 40 odd cents a kilowatt hour Samsung.
But if we look at solar from the perspective that we're not just talking about the generation, but we're talking about the infrastructure, and that solar is built close to the load where it's going to be consumed, then we're talking about major savings. The fact is that in a number of centers like Waterloo or like Toronto, there's an opportunity for us to produce power close to load, and it's needed right now. And for us to build the line, to bring the power here from someplace else and build the generation, it's going to cost us a lot.
There's got to be a lot of planning that goes into these projects. So I have a hard time believing that windmills are going to be shovel-ready.
Probably take less time to get up, though, than a nuclear power plant.
Absolutely.
You have countries where, like Denmark and Spain, that are already generating close to 25% of their power, 15 to 20% of their power from wind energy, and they don't have any issues with base loading. So I think we have a long way to go. We could ramp up wind energy 10, 20 times in Canada before we start to worry about some of those issues that were brought up earlier.
And I think what I love about renewable energy more than anything is that homeowners can put up solar panels, churches can put up solar panels, farmers can put up biogas digesters, communities can build wind farms and participate and be the economic beneficiaries of renewable energy and energy generation in Ontario.